Okay, welcome everybody back to Coffee and Art in the Morning. For some reason, Ustream keeps stopping the recording, so I don't know. So I hope everyone refreshed. I was just talking about the Sketchy app and drawing the pictures from that. So if y'all did not hear the beginning of, I don't even know if it's saved. Anyway, see if it's saved. And I was talking about Dave Gaskin did a YouTube video on how the whole thing works. So just check out his video because it keeps, for whatever reason, this is the third time I've tried to explain it and got disconnected. So just go over there and look at his YouTube video and see how the whole thing works. But that's what I was working on here. All right. So anyway, what I'll do is I'll just print out a picture, a black and white picture to work from so that I don't have to work on my iPad picture for it. It takes me about an hour to do each one. And this one's just like in the first 15 minutes stage, but I can show you some of the other ones that I've drawn. I think I showed most of them. I think I already showed most of them on another stream. And but I'll quickly show them again. Some of the ones I have them in gray and in black. I mean gray and tan. Yeah, I'm going to show in a minute, CB. Patience, patience. Okay, I hope everybody refreshed in their back if you got a black screen for a second. Okay, let me put a test in my chat to make sure we're good. Okay, can y'all hear me okay? I know there's a delay, there's a lag delay for a few seconds, so just want to make sure. Thanks, Eileen. Okay, so here's some of the drawings that I've done. Let me kind of hold them up so hopefully it'll focus for the Sketchy app. And if you go over, now this one is just my sister's friend. There's a glare because it's color pencil. This is my sister's friend in Texas, and I drew her. This is from the Sketchy app, and the girl actually looked like that. She actually had a photograph in there like that, and there's just a blank page there. So these are some of the ones that I've done. That's actually Dave Gaskin there. And then here's the one I'm working on now. I think that's all that's in. Oh, this is a friend of mine on Facebook's daughter. I think that's all in this book. And then in the gray, let's see here. I have a few more drawings. So this one's on the Sketchy app. And this is the husband of my sister's friend. And see, they're only 5x7. They're really tiny. Then this is from Sketchy app. That's from Sketchy app. I think that's all I had. That's all I have in there. So yeah. Thanks, guys. So that's what I've been working on. Just because like I said, I can just sit down with my iPad and work on these every whenever I have a couple minutes in between other projects or in between wrapping presents or phone calls or whatever, and they're easy for me to do because they're small. They're not my commission portrait size, which are about this big. I mean, like 8x10, big. These are just little ones, so I don't get a lot of detail. And she's just mapped out. I don't even have any shading in her yet or anything. This is just some acrylic paint just to block in her hat and her coat and her hair. Anyway, so I work in those, and then I doodle. I did tweet yesterday a picture of my elf, Eileen the Enabler elf, who sits right up here on my computer during Christmas. I posted a picture of Eileen the Enabler Elf working on some sketches. So these are the ones that I posted. I don't know if you can see them. They're just quick little faces. And then it's the same quick faces that I do like in the face journal. I've shown y'all that. Hey, sister woman. So they're just quick little character faces. And they're just real, like, I have a few other ones in here that are larger. Let's have it here. So you can kind of see just different ones that are just kind of quick. These are just kind of like quick little doodle sketches. And then I have lots of notes in here for other things, but this is one of my actual sketch books. So let me find a blank page here and a pencil and show you that they're just real quick little. Hope everybody can hear. Yeah, okay, chat's moving. Sometimes, all right, so hopefully we'll focus here. I don't have autofocus on, but they're just little, I'll just do a whole little page of kind of some ovals or circles and I'll have them go in different ways so that makes them look going like in different I don't know, guys, kind of not seeing it. Maybe right about there. Because this is how lightly I do them. So I just have them looking all different ways. And then sorry guys, I don't know what happened there. The lighting just went, it's because of the white paper. Let me get here. Let me get this back. That might help. Okay, there we go. Camera does not like white. All right, so what I'll do is just a whole bunch of little directional looking faces. Maybe I should draw them. Well, I can't really because they're so little. I was going to say draw them with a thicker pencil. Maybe I could do them with a pen. You can't see. Anyway, so let me just kind of go over them a little darker. I wouldn't normally draw them this dark, but I'm doing it for the camera. So there you go. So I'll just start with a whole page full of little ovals. And then what I'll do is I'll have them looking different ways. Like this one might be looking down, so I'll do like that. This one might be looking to the side, so I might go that way. This one might be looking up, so I'll have it looking up. This one might be looking down, so I'll have it looking down. This one might be looking straight at us. This one might be looking straight at us. This one might be looking up. So you kind of see how I do the directions like that. So that just kind of gives placement. Hi, HD. That kind of gives placement for where I want them to look. And they're just very, very quick. They're really not detailed. So let me just kind of do one here. I'll just do one looking right at it. And all I really do is I just kind of mark their eyes. I'll mark the bottom of their nose and a lip. And most of the time I don't even pick up my pencil. I'm just quickly doing little sketches. Sorry guys, it's really hard to get the camera to pick this up because they're very tiny. I mean, they're like 1 inch, and I'm holding it up in the air trying to draw. And so I'll just do quick little, something like this, and maybe I'll just kind of indicate where their cheeks are, something like that. Just very quick. See? Hey, Pavla. And then like this one's looking up. So that side of their face is of course smaller. And I don't usually have these lines this dark, but I'm doing it for the camera. And I'm holding it up in midair. So you can kind of see maybe his ears right there. Can you kind of get the idea? So anyway, that's what this whole page, let me find it again. This whole page of faces was. And the reason I'm talking about this one is because this is the one that I posted with the elf drawing on Twitter. So I put a little hat on one. Now it's probably going to fuzz out here. Let me see if I can get or something to focus on. So you can just see they're just quick little sketches. There's a little elf, another little, just all different little characters. Sorry for the lighting and all the blah, blah, blah. So you can kind of see. Anyway, so that's just some quick little sketches that I usually do stuff like that when the football game is on. Although I have to say, Hubs was very happy at the last minute. Falcons, well, they were ahead most of the game, but yeah, it was a little touch and go there at the end. So, all right, so that's in that little. This is just a white sketchbook, and then I got the brown one and the gray one, and so that's all the different sketchbooks I'm working out of. All right, so now let's see. Let me move the iPad out of the way because I was just working on that while setting things up, and for whatever reason, we had a couple of disconnects. But in the meantime, all right, let me move this paint out of the way. I was painting her little coat and hat with acrylic. All right, so let's move the sketchbooks over here. And sorry for the squeaky chair and the bumping of the camera. Let me make some space here. Let me take a hot sip of hot coffee while it's still hot. Yeah, see, here's my little tray that I'll carry around like this for sketching around the house. It's just because all my palettes are coffee lids, plastic coffee lids. And that's just a little tray to carry around. All right, let me move that out of the way. All right. Any questions or anything? All right. Yeah, she does draw well for having such a big pencil in her hand. Yeah. I haven't been able to do all the posts that I want with Eileen the Enabler Elf this year because for 2 weeks I was kind of like busy with family. And so it kind of, I knew it wasn't going to happen. 25 straight days, right with my family thing right in the middle of it. So last year they came in January to Boo's cheer competition. This year it was the December one. So that's just the way it is. Oh, and HD is here, and I did post a picture of this. So let me clear this off real quick, and I'll show again. I showed I got all kinds of little notes stuck in there. Ken, that when they were cleaning out the workshop, Mom and Ken found in his workshop a wax paper holder with a ripper on it. And so they actually brought this in a bag. I think I said this last week, but I'm going to show it again. So here is my new washi holder. And so you can see these come out. Then you can put however many will fit. And now I just have to decide if I want to keep these cutters on here or not. Because they are very sharp. And they're useful, but they're kind of like you have to be careful not to cut your hand on it while you're trying to get the edges of the washi tape. So Ken said that I can probably get a pair of pliers and pull out these blades and pull them out of this thing right here. So yeah, so you can see, and then these are the ones that have the larger holes on them, and then it just can sit in front of my other washi tapes here that have, these holes are too small to fit on the poles in the wax paper rack, so they're still sitting here. But I got rid of 2 other trays full of washi tape by putting them on here. So it just stands up, and it sits right there. I can see it and use it. I'm just laying it down so you can look at it. So yeah, Happy Di wanted to see that. So you can see it's pretty, holds a lot. And I just have it sitting right there. All right. So I tweeted a picture of the new book I got. I actually got some other things too, but I'm not going to show those till after the holidays. This is one of the books Hubster got me for Christmas, and I bought him another one for Christmas too. We both love books, so. A sip of coffee here, guys. And I am almost out of white pencils. So unfortunately, I've got to go. I have to go to Hobby Lobby today. I need some pencils. So anyway, one of the things that I got, Cam, if y'all don't know, he's my grandson. He's 15 and he's an artist, and he loved my tone paper little sketchbook. So I don't think he's watching. Shh, if he is, no, I think he already knows he's getting it. Anyway, I got him a 9 by 12 gray tone sketchbook because he really liked the little one. So I got him one of those. So I do need to go and get him some white pencils because all my pencils are, and I know he has a few because he has Prismacolors as well, but all mine are getting down to like this short, and I do have the pencil extender, but half the time I can't ever find it. Sorry for the throat, guys. We got weather changes, and that just does my throat in every time. So I need to get some more white pencils because all my white pencils are like that. And yeah. Okay, so back to the book. Hey, Jamie. Anybody else popping in? Got a lot of people here, but I haven't refreshed my chat to see if I've missed anybody. Make sure y'all pop in and say hi so we can say hi back. Because if you're just lurking in the chat, we might miss you. All right, so I can probably move this out of the way while I have this here. I always try to keep something bright in front of the camera so that it doesn't lose focus and flash out. Okay. One of these days I'll get the camera just right. Just right. I have 5 lamps all around me, depending on the weather, if it's dreary out, light out, sunny out. It's like a magic trick to get the lights just right. All right. So this is one of the books that I got. It's called The Beauty of Zentangle. I've seen it before. I got it at Books A Million. I had a $10 off a $50 purchase, which I was easily able to use with Christmas. And plus my regular 10% off. So it's normally $24.99. So basically I got 10% off that, and then 10% off anything, I'm $10 off anything over 50, which I did. Okay. So, apparently it's been out a while. Some of the girls have talked about having it, and it's not a lot of instruction. It's more examples, inspirational examples from 137 Tangle artists worldwide. It's a beautiful book. I do not Zentangle. I've tried it and I've done a little bit of it. It doesn't hold my attention. I think because it's such just a little something, but seeing some of these larger pieces, it may be more inspirational to me than just the little squares, which here in the back it has, let me get to the very back here. It has a section just called 37 New Tangles. Learn to draw these. So it has these. Let me see if I can, let me try, guys, to zoom in one and refocus. Hang on, because it's not, all right, let me get this thing back here to focus. It's hard to see. Okay, that might be a little better. I don't know. Let me get that. Okay. So it's got 37 new tangles there, and then it's got all different kinds of how to do some basic, um, you know, starting with a swirl to make it a shell and make it this design. Same thing for all these. So, and there are tons of Zentangle instructional books out there. I bought a couple, but I ended up giving them away because I didn't use them. But this one, the reason I bought it was for all the different artist examples, not to really do Zentangling. If you really want to learn how to do it, this probably is not going to be extensive enough for you. It's got quite a few, different patterns to do in the back, but if you really want the very basics of how to start out with squares and how to, all the different how-tos. Then look, here's all these different kind of Zentangle books, and I know there's all different other, not just by this publisher, but by other publishers as well that does different instructional booklets and books on Zentangling. This one is more focuses on the 137 artists. Hey, Barb, the 137 different artists that just do their examples. So it's really not a how to book, even though there are some of those step by steps in the back. If y'all really want to know two people in our group that really are professional, I know Suzanne Ranza, uh, Concerned Owl, she's one of those three on Twitter, Instagram, and all that. Is she's I don't it's called licensed. I don't know. She took the program and is as an official Tangle teacher. And Bryn Elegant Tangle is also another um, person that does her Ustreams on Friday mornings before Barb, and she's also a Zentangler. So if y'all want to see people's samples, you can ask them to show. Maybe Bryn will bring out some of her Zentangles if we ask her on Friday or something to show them. So Barb, did you get the relatives in? I know everybody probably wants to know. And because Barb was going to she had to go to the airport and get relatives. So I won't say any more about that on recording. But yeah, feel free to talk about it in chat, Barb. Okay, so back to the book. All right, so this one came out. Let me get back over to the publisher and look at this. Look at that owl. See that? So much color. It's not just black and white. Zentangle is not just for black and white anymore. Yes, CB. All right, so let's see. When was this? I thought it said that it says 2014. So is it the Design Originals that is 2014, or is it this particular? I guess it is. This book came out this last year. So this book came out this year. All right, and hopefully we will stay focused with this as our puller of the light in. All right, so I'm just going to do a quick little flip just so y'all can kind of see some of it does have a little bit about Zentangling, classic Zentangle, and it's these little squares that, I don't know, 4 inches, I think. They started out as 4 inches, and you start out these, 4.5 inch square. Oh, either a 3.5 by 3.5 round or a 4.5 or no, or a round. Okay, so the 3.5 squares or a 4.5 round is the traditional classic Zentangle, according to this. All right, I'm not an expert. All right, so oh, Jana said that that's how she got her granddaughter to draw with her was Zentangling. Oh, that's great, Barb. Congratulations. Yay. And I'm sure how was the graduation? Was that good too? Sorry guys, if y'all are just watching this on the recording, there is a live chat going on. So yeah, there are real people here. I'm not just talking to the elf. Just saying. There's more than ETEE here. Okay. So I'm going to show this book, and then I think we have not done, y'all know I've done some of these, Rabbit Trail. I've done some of these lately. Let me grab some here. I've done the art cards, some of the little art cards like this, the little my mixed media collage cards. I've done these lately on Ustream, but I haven't done any. Get the focus back. I haven't done any where we just do big, sheets of collaging stuff to cut up for backgrounds into small either art cards or AT. We cut them up into ATC size. which is 2.5 by 3.5. So maybe we'll do some of that today. We'll do some ATC cutout collage backgrounds today because I haven't done those probably at least a year. Because I've been doing these, and so I haven't done some of those. So maybe we'll do some of that today. Oh, good. Now you can actually show it on stream, Barb. Now that, oh, well, yeah, I guess you probably have pictures of it. Do you have a special card? It's your birthday every month. But I think it might really be now, Jamie, isn't it? I don't have my list in front of me. Jamie says every month that it's her birthday so she can get an art card. I did send out some art cards. And then I also sent out some of my reindeer, cameo cutout reindeers. And I gotta say, the girls in Canada, they're gonna get theirs late. I have to kind of like bundle them up for Hubster to take to the post office by country. Oh, good, Barb. Good. Girls. I don't know. It really is in January. Okay, then you'll really get a card in January, Jamie. But today I just thought we would just make a bunch of the collage stenciled kind of mishmash collage. Remember when we made the 8.5 by 11? We cut them all up. I got stacks of them. Maybe I need to do some giveaways. Oh, Hubs will love that. On top of all the Christmas cards, some giveaways. All right, let me finish with the book first. We're getting way off track. Okay, so so there's a little bit about the Zentangle introduction, and then some of the girls that are actually in the book, and or maybe the editors of the book. Hi, Jeannie. Jeannie, do you see we're showing the book? Jeannie calls me the book enabler. All right, so then here are some, and I'm not going to, let me just kind of flip. I mean, if you go to the bookstore, you can sit and look at every single page, real in depth. But what I really liked about this book is they use a lot of color. Most Zentangle books, of course, they're going to teach you how to do the Zentangling itself, which is in black and white. But these artists went like above and beyond and did all kinds of different colors, and not all of them, of course, but you can see there's so much color. Here's the one that's on the cover. And so it's just become much more than just the little squares. Okay, and there's 137 different artists in this book. And I know a few of the girls here have this book. But if you love pen and ink, see, I love pen and ink. Oh, that makes me Jeannie. I'm gonna have to pull out all my pen and ink books and do a stream on just pen and ink books. Aren't I bad? Anyway, so if you like pen and ink, then you'll love this book. You know. Sorry, guys, I'm giggling at the people in the chat. Oh, how sweet is that, Barb? I hope you're going to tell all those stories on your stream. Barb streams on Friday afternoons at 2 p.m. Eastern. Barb Owen is her Ustream is creating faces on Ustream. So she does all kinds of different. I'll plug her book here in just a second too. She's written a couple of books, and I'll show her book here in a minute. So you can see how colorful and such a variety. It's totally worth $25. If you like any kind of pen and ink, not just Zentangling, but just like other artists, it's totally worth it. At least to me. It is to me. Of course, I love my books. Let me see some of the detail. Focus. The rhino. So as you can see, you're welcome. As you can see, you need to put this on your Amazon wish list. See, now this is the kind of book to me that I mean, I have a lot of, not a lot of, but quite a few art books on Nook. And so Nook or Kindle, whatever, whichever one you use. But these are the kind of books you just want to sit and just like hold. For me, anyway. I mean, you can't zoom in like you can on an iPad or, but it's just, I just love, you know, holding the book and looking at page by page. Look at that. See the color? See the detail? You just can't. I'm not holding every page up to the camera, but just so you can kind of see. It's not, it's not your mama's Zentangle. And then, like I said, here in the back are quite a few samples. So it's The Beauty of Zentangle, Inspirational Examples from 137 Tangle Artists Worldwide. Design Original, Suzanne McNeil, who's been around since Eileen, Tacky Glue Lady. She's been around a long time. Suzanne McNeil. And the Certified Zentangler and Cindy Shepard, Certified Zentangler. Okay. It's used on Amazon for $12.80. Well, now, Janet, that you've said that, they're all gone. Every time we mention a book that's on sale on Amazon, bam, they're gone. They're sold out because we all go snap them up. All right, so let me real quick show Barb's book while she's here. Let me see where I put it. Put it in with the art books. So Barb did Creating Faces, Needle Sculpting from the Beginning. Sorry for the not like perfect lighting there, Barb. I like to not promote a book where it doesn't show up. And it's Barb Owen. You can go on Amazon and find it. And it's all on very detailed, in-depth how to sculpt and paint faces. And she signed her book. I still have the card she gave me in here. Stays in the book. But anyway, it is amazingly detailed on all the different face. I'm trying to get to some pictures here so you can kind of see. She shows you how to stitch every stitch, literally every stitch, and how to make them. And then here's the finished one there. And then here's the patterns. And every face has its own chapter. Okay. See how detailed. So if you are into any kind of sculpting, and Barb also she's done painting her faces. They're on Ustream as well. I guess they're still up there. Do you move your stuff over to YouTube, Barb? I always watch you on Ustream, so I'm not sure if you move your stuff over to YouTube. Because Ustream, for those of y'all that are not streamers or don't know, after a few months, you're only allowed so many videos and or storage space for your videos. So if you don't either save them to your own computer, hard drive, external hard drive, whatever, or move them to YouTube, then they're gone. So let me see. Not yet. Okay. You need to, Barbara. It's so easy. It's literally the click of a button. And it uploads like in 15 minutes. I'm so glad Jean told me about that. It's just like, because if you try to do a YouTube video, for those of y'all that do YouTube videos, you know how long it can take to render and upload a video. We that do the Ustream can upload a 3-hour video in 10 minutes. So now, granted, we don't have the same quality as because like this is an HD camera and it's not the quality on Ustream that it would be on YouTube. So it just depends if you want to do a long videos like we do here on Ustream and save them and upload them and share them. A lot of people it's much easier for them to watch a Ustream video on YouTube. And so it makes it easy for those that want to watch those videos to have them on YouTube. But you do lose some of the, quality. You got to, but if you want a long video, unless you're going to do a Google Hangout, that's the only other way I know to have a 2-3 hour video is either Google Hangout or upload from Ustream. So, all right. So yeah, so that go check out Creating Faces, Barb Owen on Amazon, and you can find her book there. Okay. Yeah, Jamie. Jamie's got a YouTube video, but she needs to stream. All right. So there's a couple books for the day. Let me move these off. There's my focus card there. All right. Oh, let me qualify something. For Barb, oh, sorry, I bumped the camera. Barb does have excellent quality on her Ustream. She has like a 3-camera setup and very professional, so it is possible. But, and I'm not going to get into the particulars of how you can have a better quality Ustream and all that. But, if you all want to know more about the high quality, ask Barb. Okay. All right, so, and if y'all missed, I did show real quick and talk about, I wanted to say one more word about the Sketchy app. Okay, the Sketchy app is, and I can't really show it because I'll go yellow here, and sometimes I lose that. And I tried to talk about it a little at the beginning, but for whatever reason, I got disconnected twice, and so I think I got all the little Sketchy app conversation in. But if you go to the apps and just put an SKTCHY, you'll in your iPhone, whatever, iPad, whatever, go over there, and it's free. And what you do is people upload their photographs. Okay, they upload their photographs, and then you pick a photograph. You can put it in your list and save it. And then when you draw that person, and you put your pictures in too, you put some, a picture. You don't have to, but it just seems right. You put a couple pictures of yourself in as well, and then they draw you or you draw them, and then you upload your drawing on top of their photograph. So you can swipe and see the photograph and swipe back and see your drawing. And so that's what some of these are. This is the one I'm working on right now. It takes me it doesn't take me that long, maybe about an hour to do these because they're small. They're 5x7, and I do a lot of the flat color in a quick layer of acrylic, and then concentrate on the face. But you have to see how small these are. They are very small. So, and y'all know when I do my commissions, they're at least 8.5x11. But anyway, so they're small. So you don't get the same detail, but they're for that little Sketchy app, and I'm having fun. So this is the one that's in progress now, but I'll show you a couple other ones that I've drawn. I think I think they were on the beginning, but I'll show them real quick again. So you can do your pets, you can do your faces. This one happens to be my sister's friend. I did this one for a Facebook for my sister's friend, and this this is actually how she looked in her photograph on Sketchy. So you can make funny faces, you can do whatever. Let me just try to flip through a few here. So you can see they're very small and not a lot of detail. And Dave Gaskin, oh, I did mention him at the beginning. He's the one that I heard about Sketchy app from. So if you go to YouTube, you can find Dave Gaskin has a video on the Sketchy app. And he's an amazing artist. Y'all need to follow him on Twitter and wherever else he is. I think he's maybe on Instagram. I don't know. I'm not much of an Instagram person. I just, I got so many other things to keep up with. I mean, if you think about it, we got Twitter. I got my blog. I do Ustream, YouTube, Google Plus, Flickr, Pinterest. What else is there? Did I mention my blog? Anyway, so I just don't have time for Instagram, even though that's really probably the quickest, fastest one to upload things to. But I'm mostly a Twitter gal. So then this is the one I'm working on now. And see, I just printed out a little black and white picture of her just so I don't have to keep my iPad up for the whole hour. I can kind of use some a reference. And let's see, I got a couple that I'm going to work on. This is a friend's daughter on Facebook. And then that's in the brown. This is the tan paper. And then I also have the gray paper. Let's see, I've got a couple in here. So these are a couple of the ones that are posted on Sketchy. This one's a Facebook. This is the husband of my sister's friend. So I did both of them. So it's small though. See? This is a Sketchy one. So they post this picture and then you draw and then your drawing overlays on top of the photograph. And so you can see both. And then there's this one. I really like doing her. I liked doing her hair. I really liked how her hair turned out. Thanks, Barb. I think that's all I have. So those, and then I doodle in my tiny sketchbook, which I showed earlier. So these are kind of like my sketches, literally sketches. Okay, so now, if we want to, like I said, we've been doing these, this type of collage mixed media collage cards, these kind for, quite a long time and haven't really done any of the mixed media background. I know we've done some jelly plating, but I'm not going to bring out the jelly plate today. Where's Jean? Jean? Jean might still be asleep, actually. She's on vacay. Okay. Hey, 3G. Anybody else I missed? All right. So I'm thinking maybe we'll just do some of the 8.5 by 11 on white cardstock, mixed media, collage, stenciling without using a jelly plate, which would be another ideal purpose for the jelly plate to do those backgrounds with. But I'm just going to use just acrylic paint and collage and make some 8.5 by 11 collage sheets, and then we'll cut them down to artist trading card size. So I still have stacks of them here. Let's see here. From before, let me pull out a few of the stacks. They're up here on the shelf. They're all in different stages of work, but I got a zillion of them here. So I'm thinking we might need to do a giveaway. And I was kidding, well, half kidding. Hubster's going to say, oh, lovely. I just mailed out all those Christmas cards for you. And now we're going to mail out more stuff. Anyway, so these are left over from a couple years ago, probably at least a couple years ago. And there's just all kinds of stuff in here where we would do like this. Here's a good example. Here's some of the cutout. These are 4x6. We have an ATC size. So we did two different sizes when we were cutting all these up. So here's a couple of the postcard size. If y'all have a question, put it in caps because otherwise I don't know that you're talking to me. Okay, so we haven't done any of these for quite a while, but here's some of the ones that we've done previously with 4x6. Now these don't have stories to them like, these finished collage cards that I do these, and these are already varnished and everything. But they're more the backgrounds. Okay, so y'all up for this? Jamie should get more than one birthday card because she had to wait forever to get one. You're so fun, Jamie. We love you. All right, so I don't know why these little pieces of chipboard are in there. That's kind of random. There's just random things in here. Some random, I don't know. We probably had some reason for these at the time. So there's just, here's some more examples of what we're going to do today. Like this. Like this. Now, there's really no stories to these. They're just pretty cards that you can, and you could use them in Project Life. These would be great backgrounds for Project Life. Here's some napkin ones. There's more little chipboard cards in there. I need to clean all this out. And so these are all different ones that we've done. I love this one. I don't know what kind of paper, what did we, little piece of whatnot we used on that. So what they are is basically an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, paint, collage, stenciling, and stamping. Here's a stamp right there. There's one of my little carved stamps. And basically that's it. And then you cut them up. You can cut them up to 4 by 6 or artist trading card size, which is 2.5 by 3.5 size. And then some of these might even, I don't know, those look small. These might even be leftovers. I'm not sure. So we got tons of them, as you can see. So I was like, I don't know. We did a lot of those back when. And then here's a stack of ones from 4 by 6 ones that we've done. Okay. All right. So are we up for this, people? Yeah, it doesn't hurt to ask. Dar, you learned that. Well, I guess a lot of people learn that from Dar. It doesn't hurt to ask. You might get it. It's Dar's motto. All right, so let me kind of rubber band up some of these so they're kind of at least stacked back up. We gave away, I don't know, hundreds of these back when. All right, so let me put some of these out. We'll make fresh ones. I don't know what those chipboard things were for. I really don't remember what we did with those chipboard. And you know, another thing I haven't done this year, this Christmas, is doing the dip and drag in the ink animal faces on the envelopes. I haven't done that this year either. I don't know. I'm kind of like behind this year. I guess because I had, well, not as an excuse, but I did have family here and all that for a couple weeks of my time. All right, so I'm just picking up here, and we're going to do, Dee Dee, I think you need a few more. Well, don't forget, Eileen, I also have trays. Let me move the plastic bags off of here to show you. I also have trays of artist trading cards. Last show, I did a show, I think the last show was artist trading cards. I showed a whole bunch of them. But I also have trays. Here you go, Eileen. You need some artist trading cards in different stages. Here's a little. Do you need some? Do you need some artist trading cards in different stages? Here we go. All right. So back to the task at hand. Put this back up there because the piles are already accumulating. Also have we also have tag bundles here that are fun to do the same thing on. Now I never got into much. I did one tray of Rolodex things, but it was that tray, the Rolodex, the large oversized cards that were made and sold at scrapbook stores, not the typical Rolodex. I never did those. So I don't have any of those to show, but you know, got all kinds of tags and all kinds of other ways. Whoops. Other ways to do them. All right, let me pick these up. There we go. All right. We are at no loss for ideas around here. And speaking of ideas, all right, so I'm working on, hopefully by sometime into January. The reason I'm going to do it at the end of January is because there's always at the beginning of the year tons of New Year classes, like for instance, the Documented Live project, which I did 2 days last year in January. I did day 1 and day 2. And I follow them on Facebook. I love seeing all the projects from that. But I'm not a diarist and a day by day kind of person. So yeah. So I know there's going to be a whole lot of those kind of things. And I can't even tell you the names of all the different ones that start January 1st for you to do yearly journaling prompt type things. So I'm going to wait till toward the end of January when everybody's decided which ones they're going to do, because I'm not doing one of those. Just saying. I'm going to do a idea notebook, which I'm compiling here. I'm starting a brand new one, fresh. I have a used one of, well, I have multiple books on ideas, but I'm starting a fresh one and I'm going to fresh it, like go with the same ideas weekly that I'm going to give you ideas. Now, or I shouldn't say weekly, I should say by stream. So when I do different streams, I'll give you different ideas to collect. So this is not going to be a weekly, daily, monthly, yearly, any type of that type of thing prompts. It's not a prompt thing. This is going to be a way for you to collect your ideas. Okay? So, oh, it doesn't really matter, Eileen. Something about maybe 3 by 3 because this much of the tab will hang out and then you can have something pretty on about 2 inches. In other words, like, let me just get a post-it note. Eileen is going to do some digi tabs for anybody that wants to do this. And I'm starting out with 8 right now, 8 main topics, and then subtopics that go in the 8 main topics. So I'm just thinking that, and Eileen is going to do some digi tabs, and you can print them out on cardstock. She's, I'm probably speaking ahead, but she said she would do some tabs and just wanted to know the size. I'm thinking about this size, Eileen, because then, let me find a blank space here. Because then what can happen, and the camera's not going to like white, is that you could glue or tape your tab with just that much sticking off the edge, and then this much will be pretty digi Eileen something. So really, Eileen, this is the only place it has to have a blank. And then if you want to do any kind of digi here, it doesn't, anything you want to do just to make it look pretty. It can be a solid, like that one I saw with the mottled looking swirly thing, or it can be a design. It's totally up to you, Eileen. So we just need a place here to write whatever. And you can also put the tabs at the top. See, I have some other ones up here at the top. So as long as there's a place to write, this part will be glued down. Yeah, this part will be glued down to preferably a cardstock. This is all the cheap printer paper that you can buy in a ream that's already hole punched for you. Okay, but it's just this printer paper quality. This book is going to be for ideas. Now, you will be sketching and writing and all that, but it's not going to be like your sketchbook. In other words, or any kind of, it's just for idea collecting. So anyway, but if you want to do anything pretty, here, Eileen, you could do it horizontal or vertical or a combination of both, whatever. But, then you could put something pretty here, and as long as we have a place to write the topic. Okay? And CB is going to make some, well, maybe you could make some horizontal and CB could make some vertical. What about that? CB could make some for the top tabs. You could make some for some side tabs or vice versa or whatever. I'm just throwing this out there. It's just an idea. It's just an idea. I mean, and anybody can. The thing is, I'm hoping that when we do this live streams with these things is that everybody will participate in, throwing out some different ideas, and we'll say, okay, so Eileen and CB said this, and, then we can, and of course, I love giving credit to anybody that does anything artistic, crafty, cool, and promote their YouTubes, their Ustreams, or whatever, their books, Barb. And so anyway, that would be about the size. Just so that the reason for that would be, Eileen and CB, is if you glue that or tape that to a piece of cardstock that's hole punched, then it will give it some oomph. Because these are, these come attached with the plastic ones. So that would just give it some oomph when you turn the page. It's just just an idea. So anyway, that's kind of what I have planned toward the end of January, because I don't want to be, I don't want it to interfere with anybody's doing any, you know, of the other documented life or any of those. I don't even know the names of them all, people. I really don't even know. I follow the documented life one on Facebook because it's just cool to see everybody's art. But anyway, so there we go. And I did talk about all the stuff that you need for this on the last stream. All right, so there we go. Putting that away. Excuse the squeaky hubster chair, which he kindly loaned me. All right, so now, you made it farther than me, Jamie. I made it to day 2. Okay, bye, Barb. Bye, Barb and fam. Thanks for stopping by, Drive By. All right, so on to the project. What we're going to do and what you'll need is just plain old white cardstock. Let me grab some here. I get my cardstock. It's just 110-pound weight cardstock, 8.5 by 11. This is the same stuff I'll use, like, for instance, if I wanted to, I don't know what happened to my focus there, guys. The lighting just kind of, I don't know. It's probably because of the white paper. This is the same kind of cardstock that you can use for dividers in the Idea notebook. Okay. All right, so Merry Christmas, Barb. So what I'm going to do, and I know, I probably need to back out. Let me go ahead and back out because I want to do more than one sheet. Let's back out, refocus. Let's get a focus thing going here. Okay, because I want to do a few. I'm going to try to keep this somewhere handy where it will, maybe on this side, have something for the camera to focus on. But what I want to do is, if y'all raise your hand if you've done this before. We'll do however many I can fit on camera here. Do a couple horizontal, maybe a vertical, just because that'll fit. Raise your hand if you've done this before. Well, let's go for 3. We'll just go for 3 because that's showing up well on the camera right there with a card to focus. Hey, Carol, and anybody else popping in. All right. So hopefully the lighting and whatnot. How we doing there, guys? See how the light focuses when it's just the white paper. All right. We'll just have to kind of deal with it, I guess. I'm just, y'all know my lighting situation is just dismal. Okay. All right. So now we will, here's the other thing that I thought would be cool to do when we did this time, is to take, if y'all remember, here's some small swatch ideas from Design Seeds. It's another cool site that everybody needs to subscribe to. Get a daily email, design-seeds.com, and you will get a daily swatch chart and coordinating photograph of, let's just say, a flower that coordinates with those swatches. So we did this a while back. Let's see, let me find a few here, where I showed how you can take the Design Seeds I think it's 6 colors. Am I right, Eileen? I think it's 6 colors. I'm just looking at 6 here. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think it's 6 colors. And make your own little design seed type chart using whatever type of medium you want, whether it be watercolor, Neocolor, Crayola crayons, acrylic paint. It doesn't matter so much what you're using. I use Neocolors for this. It doesn't matter so much what you're using for the colors, color pencil, watercolor pencils, ink tints. But the idea is to get their combination down on a piece of paper and just do a little something, something in there just to have a sample. And then we also went on to talk about mind mapping those colors with different themes. and I will give this away. One of the topics in the idea notebook will be mind mapping. You'll have a tab for mind mapping ideas. Okay, that will be one of the tabs. So, hint, hint. Yes, thank you, Jamie, for posting the link. design-seeds.com. And you can go there. You don't have to subscribe to their email. You can just go to the site every day. And I think they have 2 every day. Plus, they have a subcategory on another, I think it's pastels. I forget. Anyway, but there's tons of color combination ideas at Design Seeds. So here's just some of the ones that we've done in the past. These are some of the different Design Seed little swatchy ideas. And here, these are some of the small ones we did. So we also did, let me see what I put here. In another notebook I have, see, this is why we need one notebook. So in my another notebook here, let me find some of the, here's some of the other ones that we did. These ones are 8.5 by 11. These are 5 by 7. Let me get here. These are 5.5 by 8.5. Little notebook. Okay. So here's some of the larger ones that we've done with the Design Seed combinations. And all we did here, I say we because when I do these things live on Ustream and you're here, it's we. Okay, so these are just different little cameo cutouts that we've used to use this color combination. So these are just some, same for here. These are cameo cutouts and then embossed. Just to show, just for an example of using the color combinations that Design Seeds have. And we don't necessarily try to we don't have to have the exact hue of every swatch that they show, but it's just as close as we can get, so that you have those color combinations. There's more notes that we've done, mind mapping, more of that. So I think that's all the ones in here. There's some different magazine ideas. See, I've got all these different ideas, and so do you. Everybody has a whole file of ideas that I'm going to try to get us to be able to compile all those in our idea 3-ring binder. Okay. Yes, Eileen. And Eileen mentioned, yes, they tell me what to do. I love you, Eileen. All right, so the reason I brought this little rabbit trail out to show you is that if we look at the Design Seed, let me just find one here, for instance, these colors. If you pick these colors, instead of just randomly hodgepodging any kind of colors on these backgrounds, you can use the Design Seed color combinations for that. Okay, so I'm going to, and again, you can use whatever you have. I use cheap craft Americana acrylic paints for all these projects. Same thing for my collage cards. All this is just Americana, mostly. I say 99.9% Americana paint because I love their colors and the coverage, but any kind of craft paint will do. And so I'm going to look in my selection, and I probably will not have every color, exactly as many as you would in, say, a box of crayons. Do I need to get out my sniffables? Do I need to? Anytime I mention crayons, I have to get out my, this is my box of Crayola 96 crayons. I haven't bought a new box this year, but because it's in a drawer, it still has retained its scent. And this box is not for using. I have boxes and boxes of crayons for using, melting, whatever. This box is just for sniffing. This box is just for sniffing. And in case, yes, my sniffing box. And in case I ever want to go anywhere, Sister Woman gave me a travel emergency crayon sniff box with a tag on it. So if I ever want to go anywhere where I'm afraid I might miss my sniffs, Sister Woman said that to me. Okay. But we'll be talking more about supplies and, and I'm sure most of you, we've done many charts here with our Inktense Neo colors. I've got full charts of all those, but I'm going to redo all the charts when we do our idea notebook. Okay, so we're gonna re-chart things so that we can get them all in our idea notebook. Yes, everybody has to have one of those, Sister Woman. All right, so now for this though, for at least one of them, we'll start with one as an example. I'm going to try to pick these colors sort of close. I need a couple shades of yellow. Maybe instead of 3 colors of yellow, I'll just go with 2 colors of yellow, a sienna, and a teal. We'll just go with 3 colors then. All right, so we'll go with a yellow, a teal, and a sienna brown. All right, so there we go. All right, so you can see, don't make a whole like, worry thing out of anything creative you do. If you don't have 6 colors, we go with 3. Now I might have more of these colors, but we're just going to go with 3. All right, so there's the colored little sample that we got from Design Seeds. And by the way, this is not what Design Seeds, they have beautiful photographs, guys. They have beautiful photographs incorporating all the different swatches. Of course, y'all know you can also use paint chip swatches, paper chip swatches, all kinds of things. All right, so we're just going to start with one. Now let's go ahead and do 3 different ones. We'll do 3 different types of things, but we'll use these colors to start with. All right, so what I usually do, it's been a while, it's been at least a year since I've done these, so I'm going to try to remember how we did them. Let me shake the paint off camera. All right, so we're going to get some yellow. And these are Americana, that's cadmium yellow, bluegrass, and I haven't even opened this one because I ran out and I just bought a new one of these, so let me open this up. Bluegrass green. It's a teal color, which I love this. It's a nice bright teal. And then we're going to go with, what is this? Milk chocolate, which has a, kind of a sienna color tint of red in it. All right, so if you have any questions, put a Q and a colon. No, can't put a Q and a colon anymore. Sorry, put it in caps. And let me get one of my palette knives here. And how we start out with these is just scraping different colors. So what I think I'll do is I'll have a main color. I'm going to have a main color of each. So like the primary color on this one will be the yellow with a hint of brown. I'm going to go ahead and do it while it's wet, but with a little bit of brown. Remember, this is just for the color purpose. A little bit of the teal. This isn't supposed to look like anything. It's just to have color on the page. Okay. Then you can also take a baby wipe and kind of blend it out just so you can cover up the whole white. You don't have to, but I'm just going to do that here. Just cover up the whole. This is just to get color on the page. Now, if you start doing this, you're going to end up with just, see what I'm saying? I mean, it's not that terrible, but if you want multiple colors and not just a big mud, then just do it all lightly, all right? So there's like a main one can be yellow here. So I'll even add a little bit more yellow because that'll be the main color. Okay, and the next one will have the main color be the brown. I don't see any caps, so carry on. All right, so let's go ahead and maybe while this is, just get so we have a little bit more brown than anything. And then we'll pick up some of the yellow, as two of the accent colors will be the yellow and a little bit of the teal. Doing it light so it doesn't get mud. All right, so there's mainly a brown. If it's not brown enough, we can go in and add more. And what we're going to end up with after all is said and done is we're going to cut these up into artist trading cards and give them away. Okay, so if you're here when we give them away, all right, so there we go. So this one is mostly yellow, mostly, sort of mostly brown. And then this one will be, I'm not overthinking it. Okay, there's a lot of teal in this one. Let's get the teal moved around. Get it kind of covered up there with a little bit of yellow, which is kind of turning a little green now that I'm not cleaning my palette knife. And then a touch of the brown. And then we're going to glue, we're going to collage, we're going to stencil, and then we're going to cut them up. To the corner with CB being bad. All right, so there's just a start. This is just for something to get rid of the white paper, basically. And again, this is just plain old 110-pound weight, cheap cardstock from Staples. All right, these and baby wipes. And if you want to move paint around with a baby wipe, you need clean spots or a clean baby wipe. If I just went in here with this green section, it's just going to move. I'm just going to smear in green. So, y'all know I go through the baby wipes. This box is almost done. I got 2 boxes at the standby. Okay, so here we go. All right, let's get a clean one here. So now I'm going to get my heat gun. Excuse the squeaky chairs. All right, here we go. Go ahead and dry these. Hey, Jean. Hope the family's doing well. Good to have you. I hope you got to sleep in on your vacay. We're doing remember when we used to do these backgrounds and cut them up, Jean? We're doing this again. I know it's been at least a year, maybe 2 Christmases ago since we did any of these. But because they're not recorded anymore, I thought I'd go ahead and do them again. Hey Dana, I'm just saying hi to Dana came in. Anybody else? Sorry, I missed it. Darcy. Hi, Darcy. Harriet. Hi, Harriet. Said hi to Jeannie, and I think I said hi to everybody else. Mystic News. Thanks, everybody, for being here this morning. So I'm just going to dry these up real quick. And maybe we'll do some florals or something. Of course, I'll probably have to have a watch in there, but it doesn't really matter because I'm not doing stories with these. These are the kind of collage cards that have stories to them. And I should say mixed media because it's not just collage, it's mixed media. But these are the kind that have more stories to them. These are going to be cut up for background. So remember, everything we're doing here is going to get cut up. All right, but let me go in the other room and get some flowers. Okay, so I've moved the bulk of my collage fodder into the other room on shelves and bins. I just don't have room in here. So I'll start maybe with this. I use old books like this, and I know when I go in and buy these used or books that are on clearance for a couple dollars, and I take them up to the counter, and oh, what are you going to do with all those books? Oh, I'm going to cut them up. What? I always ask them, what are you going to do with them if they don't sell? So anyway, and then I also have stuff like these gift wrap papers. Maybe we'll just grab some of those because they're already in torn pieces. And this is just fun stuff to use for what we're gonna do with it today. All right, so this has got, I don't want all that blue in there. I want more, okay, here, this is more of the colors that we're using today. It has more teal in it. That's what I'm going for. So here's some dragonflies. Let's just go with some of these. Not that it matters because it's all going to get cut up anyway. But just to kind of show you how we're going to do these mixed media artist card backgrounds, if you want to call it that. We've probably called it a lot of things. Hey, DFP. Good to see ya. Anybody else I missed? All right, so we're just going to cut out. I'm just going to use some of these, like maybe a butterfly or two, or just some flowers. Now notice how they're going on here. They're going on here random. They're not any kind of story. Remember, this is all going to be backgrounds. All right, let me tear out some more. Cut out a couple more. I want to go crazy with one thing. I think, just a bit of every color to kind of tie it in. And you just kind of space them out so that they're kind of tied together. All right, so that's enough of the stained glass. Now let's see, maybe some bits of calendar flowers here. Let's see, I'm just going to kind of flip it. I don't want to take all day. All right, for instance, well, I'm trying to stick with these colors, so let me not go with that. Let's try to go just on principle of what we're doing here. Not that you can't use anything you want, but I'm trying to kind of go with this theme. Well, maybe now. I'm kind of changing my mind. All right, let's see here. All right. The flower colors, it's not a lot of teal. You don't have a lot of teal flowers. All right. Well, here's a good example. Here's a kind of some yellow and some green. So I'm just going to maybe add a little bit of yellow. We wanted a green. It's not teal. I'm just kind of flipping through the stack here looking for some yellow. Add some. Okay, this is good. There's some kind of yellow. I don't know what kind of flowers they are. But I'm not trying to, in this case, I'm not trying to save the flower. I'm just trying to use the color. All right. So there's a little bit of that. All right, so that's good. I'm just going to showing you random things you can glue on. All right. And we're going to stamp and stencil. I don't know about stamping. Maybe we'll just stencil. Maybe. I need to use my stamps more. Where's Rachel? Do I see the new thing you used on the glue? Oh, yes, I did. And I'm ignoring that, Eileen. Maybe it's a good idea. I don't know. It just didn't appeal to me. All right. So now maybe here's some green something. I don't know. This just kind of too. Let me go ahead and get some. Moving on here. Maybe some watch parts or pieces. Let me find some. This has got a little bit of kind of blue. And a couple other tips when you're doing collage. If you tear your pieces, it's much easier to blend. Not that we're necessarily going to do a lot of blending on this, But just for FYI, if you tear, and I know that you can't always tear because you might want a very specific collage element, but if you tear, it's much easier to blend your images than it is to cut them. I know sometimes you have to cut them because you want a very clear, very defined. But I'm just right now just going to put some watch parts on here. Here's another big. This one's got a lot of teal colors. I think I'll move this blue one over here and just put more teal, or I mean more brown on this one. Just kind of moving them around. There's no composition to this. That's, I guess, what I'm trying to say. There's no composition to this at all. The only composition might be to kind of space out all your elements so that there's some of the color all over, that kind of thing. But other than that, there's no composition to these. They're not stories. They're just going to be backgrounds. So don't get all like panties in a wad. If you're watching this and go, oh my gosh, there's no composition to that, don't email me. There's not supposed to be. Okay, there we go. All right, I think that might be enough for now because we're going to do stenciling and other things. This is just for an example. Okay. All right. So y'all are going to write down some ideas. All right. Now this right here is just for camera focus. I think I should be able to move it now that I got other colors and things here to work with. All right. All right. Well, I don't know what Jeannie was saying. I missed that. All right. So now I'm going to get me out a tray here. Find a clean, dry one. Okay. It's just as long as the paint's dry. When I say clean palette, I just mean it's dry. All right, and then y'all know I love my golden matte medium. Golden matte medium is my glue of choice for getting everything glued down, mashed down, sealed. I'll use a glue stick every now and then to tack something down. My favorite there is a Yoo-hoo, either in the blue, and I don't think they make the pink or the purple anymore. But to put your matte medium, your golden matte medium, this was Sunset Carol's tip in a Dawn dishwasher bottle. This, so you can just pop open the lid and squeeze out, which I think I didn't close that all the way. So let me get off the excess there and squeeze out however much you need. See, you just squeeze it out just like you would dishwasher soap. And then close it up. Make sure you close it because it will dry in there and you want to, use it again the next time. But if that happens, just use a pokey tool. All right. Then I have my glue brushes. I keep my glue brushes in a tub of water over here. Okay. And they're just for gluing. No painting. No paint. Just my golden glue water. And they're yucky. The brushes are yucky, but they'll stay flexible if they're in water. It's just my glue bucket. Okay, glue brush bucket. I can't say that 3 times. All right, so all I'm going to do right now is let me just move it off. All I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a layer of the matte medium and a couple more hints on collage and gluing. You want to put your glue down on the base, you want to put it on the back, and you want to put it over the top. Then you'll get no wrinkles, especially after we take a iTunes or whatever card. And so you put it on here, on the back, and then over the top. Now remember, there's no composition in this. This is just for color. This is just for color. I'm just kind of randomly putting it around any old place, just kind of spacing out like the watch parts and stuff like that. So they're kind of like all over, but there's no composition. You can overlap them. It doesn't matter. Then put a nice big coat over it. Take your card and mash it all down. If you have excess on there, just, you know, put it over on the next piece or wipe it off. But then just mash it all down really well. I know everybody's going, what? If y'all haven't seen this since a year, well, 2 years. I think the last time we did this had to be close to 2 years ago. You know? All right, so we're just going to make all that nice and smooth. And we'll hit it with the heat gun in a minute. All right, so we're going to do all 3 of these real fast. Let me just dump those off because it doesn't matter where they go. A layer. That one had a bend in it. All right, put a coat over the whole thing. Smash it all down. Okay, move that to the side. Need a little bit more that medium. Deb's back from, Deb had a whirlwind month-long vacay with her, I think her sister, right, Deb? Good to have you back. And I think she has a new YouTube video up. If you want to post your YouTube link, Deb. All right, so it's just kind of like random things. All right, so now it's kind of sort of basing it on the colors, but you know, if you start roaming off on another color, just whatever, just whatever. All right, there we go. All right, so now I'm going to go put my glue brush back in water. Even if I decide I need it again, it'll harden up. All right. So we got our 3 sheets here. Now I'm going to take the heat gun again. Let me get some of the excess glue off my hands. That's my biggest, I need to get a scrubby. I've said that for years. One of the little Ranger hand scrubbies. Usually when I do tons of the little collage cards or these, you know, anything where I'm using a lot of matte medium, usually my hands are coated with matte medium, and when it dries, for me, the only thing that gets it off is fingernail polish remover, which I know that's not the best thing to be using on your hands. So anyway, all right, so let me get out some more baby wipes here. Okay, Jamie. Yeah, I really need to refresh my coffee. All right, but let me take a sip, even though it's just lukewarm. That's actually cold. All right, let me get my. All right, we're gonna dry these real quick. Bless its little heart. My old Marvy 20-plus-year-old heat gun still works. Come here in the middle. Jean, I hope you have a great vacation, time off. After I do this, I need to run out. It's kind of drizzly today and really overcast. I think we're supposed to have rain the next couple of days. And also, if you dry the back, it helps take out any wrinkles. So you want to dry front and back. Not that there's really any. I mean, I really mashed it down pretty well. But just to make sure, if you want to ensure that your cardstock isn't folding up, just dry the back too. All right, let's go to the next one. And also, if have tried to do or enjoy doing and liking to do, like these little collage cards like these, or mixed media, I should say. This is great practice for blending. If you want to, practice blending your elements, your elements into the paint, this is a great way to practice. Okay, so keep that in mind too. All right, let me move this out of the way. Try to get it all three things here. Now, the next thing we're going to do is I want to get out a couple of stencils. You can use stamps, stencils, whatever. I'm going to just try to get, here's one of my, oops, sorry for the camera bump. Just a bag of stencils. And I'm just going to pull out some, random ones. I love my stained glass window ones. So we'll just go with those. They're easy, they're quick, and they're handy. There's 4 of them. And I believe, am I right, guys? Is it Crafters Workshop that makes those? The little stained glass window corners. There's 4 of them all total. I'm trying to see if I can put my hands on. Here's another one. There's 3 of them. That's good for now. Oh. All right, so I wanted to kind of do a main color. Now, yellow is very translucent. It's probably not going to go over any, if I stencil yellow on top of this, you're really not probably going to see it. So what we're going to do is we'll probably go with, on the brown one here, we'll go with more teal. So I'm just going to put out some more paint here. All right. And one of the tricks to stenciling is a dry makeup wedge or sponge of some kind. Dry. The trick is dry. If you don't have a dry, and no water in the paint. If you don't have a dry one, it will just seep under the stencil no matter how well you think you have it put down. Now, again, I'm not necessarily trying to use this whole design of the stencil. I just want some of the design randomly put all over the piece. Okay? Hey, CJ, anybody else I missed? So I'm just going to find some places that may not have anything, or I just want to add a little pattern to. I'm not trying, remember, you want to do it random like this. You don't want to try to, well, you can. I'm not saying there's nothing you can't do. But if you want it to look random, then you just want to go here and there I'm using, it's for the design, not for the window itself. You see? Now, as far as the composition, what I am trying to do here is I am trying to go get a little bit of everywhere. Not in the end that's really going to matter because you're going to cut these up. But the reason you want to kind of go off the edges is because some of these edges, well, all the edges actually, are going to show. Or, well, most of them. You'll have a couple out down the middle that won't. But you are trying to just fill in space with the pattern. Artist seller. Thank you. Thanks, Jean. All right, so like right up here, there's going to be an edge with nothing there. I'm just going to go along with some of there. Okay, I'm just randomly putting in some of that design. And I'm going to use a different design on each one. All right, there we go. So there we go with that one. See, it's just got some teal all over. All right, because that was one of the least of the colors. So I'm bringing that one out. This one has the least brown. So now I'm not going to use the same. Well, I probably could with brown. I'll just probably go ahead and use the brown because it'll cover up the other color. But you really, if you change sponges, you need a new clean. You can't, in other words, you can't wash this out and use it damp. You could, but you're more likely to get seepage under your stencils if you have a damp sponge. You want it dry. So I'm just going over that. All right, now I'm going to get a different one. Here's a different design. Now I'm just going to kind of do the same thing. And you can go over some of your images. Okay. But make sure and try to get some on the edges because you're going to cut these up and the edges are going to be seen. So you want you don't just want like an edge of color. You want to design all the way to the edge. See what I mean? Burn. So it's been a long time since we've done these. But it's kind of freeing and fun. There's really not a lot of thought. It's just some play. You know, so you can just kind of find places that look bare. Like let's say right there. See how it's kind of bare right there? Once you put a little bit of something there, see how it kind of just ties it together. So it's just a good way to tie everything together with just a design. All right, so there's that one. Y'all see how they're coming along? I hope. All right, so this one, since yellow is not really going to cover that very well, I'm going to get another. Let me put that one in the water. I'm done using that one. I'm going to get another. This is dry. It's just stained. I think I'm going to go with some of this bright orange. Okay, we're going to go with a nice bright orange. Let's see here. Oh, do I want, or maybe a bright, let's see. This is a good one. This is burnt orange. So it's a little kind of a cross between the brown and the orange here. All right, so let me see if I need to get the pokey. Oh, no, it's coming out. All right. So it's kind of a burnt orange color, kind of some of those colors in there. So I'm going to get the third stencil. Separate design there. Let's move that so you can see it. Okay, these are Artist Seller stencils. Okay, so I'm just going to randomly put some of these little florets or whatever they are just kind of around. I'm not taking much time here, and I should probably take a little more time to get those designs, but I'm kind of getting in a hurry. I try not to get in a hurry on stream, but sometimes it happens when you're only trying to get it all squeezed in 3 hours. All right, so I'm just kind of going along the edges and getting some little florets. These little kind of flourish, those little circly things there. I'm just going to go around there. All right. All right, so that we'll just stop with that. Put the sponge in the water because I'm done with it. Oh, this color palette is awesome. The color palette, we derived it from Jeannie. If you weren't paying attention, just kidding, is from the Design Seeds, this color combination. Although other colors have come into play, that was just our, as a starting point for inspiration. I'm teasing you, Jeannie. All right, so there we go. So now I'm going to hit this with the heat gun again. I know they have hundreds and hundreds of color combinations, but if you don't know what kind of color combination to use, they're got them. They have a sale at Artist Seller, Lisa. For those of y'all watching the recording, I know, Jeannie. Lisa's saying that there's a sale at Artist Seller Stencils. If you have a link, feel free to post it. Links are open. Thanks again, everybody, for being here. I'm going to do giveaways of these little artist cards when we're done. If you're here, y'all know how it works. You're going to put in a number, and first one closest without going over. One number only. Don't do it now, Jeannie or Jamie. All right, let me move these stencils off. Yeah, this is a set. Let me just see if I can kind of hold. This is 3 of the 4 here. And I never clean them. You know, terrible, I know, but these are 3 of the 4. And I know they have some other ones out now. Here's one that we did using, I think the jelly plate back when with one of these. Here's, let's see, which one is it? It was this one. We used the jelly plate with black cardstock and metallic and use this stencil. So just so you can see a cleaner version of something you can do with these stencils. That's on the jelly plate. Putting a stencil and the metallic paint on black cardstock. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, that one just happened to fall out of the pile there. All right, so let's move that out of the way. Bring these back out. And I'll do a couple of things. I want to, even though this isn't really what I would do on too much on this, but I do want to show you a little bit of how you can practice your blending. If you're doing collage and you want to blend. Let's start with let's go with this orange one here. It's just an easy practice. If you want to practice blending your images, like here, although now most of these I did a lot of black, but it works with any color. If you want to blend your images into the background, okay, with paint, you can use a brush or depending on how big, on something this big, I'll just use my finger here to show you. Here's a good example right here. I'm going to pick up the blue. All right, so I want to blend this into the background better right here. All right, look, you take your finger. Now, the reason this is going to work is because everything is coated with my golden matte medium. So, in other words, if I get paint on there and I don't like it there, all I have to do is take a baby wipe and wipe it completely off. Well, not in the air. I can wipe it completely off. Because it's got the coating of the matte medium, you can wipe paint away from the images. But this is a great way for you to practice blending. And I'm just going to pick up 2 colors. I'm going back and forth from the green and the teal to the orange. Okay? It's just a great way to practice blending whatever image you're working into your background. And if you think you get it too much or too far, I have to set it down for this to at least get the baby wipe here. You can go in and blend it out with the baby wipe. You see how that works? See? Vern? Know what I mean, Vern? Where's Paula? Why Miss Paula? There we go. See? All right? So practice with these kind of sheets. Let me get a little more brown out. Practice with these sheets where you're going to cut them up anyway, and it doesn't matter if it worked because you're going to cut them up. But it's a good way to practice your blending. See? See? Then I can maybe add a little more yellow there just to tie that in. All right. Questions? Got it? Anyone? Bueller? Okay. All right, so I might use a little more green right up here just to kind of show you again. Like that edge right there, maybe I want to blend that out. Look, it just could go away. See? right here just can go away. Yes, it blends very, very easily. So this is a good place for you to practice that. All right, just to, if you want to practice, blending, then this is a good way to do it. Now you don't have to use your finger, Jean. Although our Jean has got over a complete aversion to touching paint, to like diving right in. Just saying. You can use a brush. Let me get a brush for the next one. All right. It's just, I don't know. I like the way I can feel it, with my fingers, but you can use a brush. Let me get a nice brush here. All right. So let's go with right here. Let's try to blend this and this together. All right. So you can just kind of get in here with a little bit of the green. I'll pick up a little bit of orange, clean my brush, because I can't just wipe my finger, and maybe a little bit of brown. Okay, so there, we've got 3 colors right there. Orange, blue in there. And now I'm just, oh, I was going to use the brush, sorry. Go in there with the brush and kind of, got to keep cleaning off your brush though, so you can feather it out. So you can kind of see how you can, got to keep cleaning the brush. It's not like your finger where you just wipe it off, but you can see how you can blend things into the background. You can even water it down. Like I'll get just a wet brush here and just water. See how that kind of, I don't know, I hope it's showing up on camera. For me, it's just quicker just to pick up some on my finger and blend it in these kind of cases. Now, when I'm doing my little art cards, I have to use a brush because it's tiny. I got to have tiny brushes to get in tiny spaces. But this is just something nice and big. I'm just going to kind of blend some of the edges. I'm just really trying to get rid of the harsh edges or the torn paper. Any torn paper or harsh edges. That's all I'm really doing right there. This needs a little teal maybe over there on that edge. Okay, kind of see how it's working there? You see a face. Too much blue there. Maybe I'll just put a swipe or two of orange. All right, so there we go. So there's a couple. This right here, let's blend this in right here. Let's go with the orange. Let's blend in some of that. Oh, let's go with the teal. So you can just kind of blend that in, blend it in. And if you get too much, because it's on matte medium, you can wipe it away. If it's too white, like let's just say you don't like that harsh whiteness, then just take a little bit of watered down paint and just go over the whole thing with a wash. And it gets rid of the stark whiteness and puts a tint. And then just don't wipe it away, leave it there. Same thing for any little white edges. You're just trying to get rid of the edges and, practice some blending. All right. Let me make sure here. Let's a little bit of white edges there. I'm just getting rid of the torn edges. And that's the other thing I was saying. When you use torn images, it's much easier to blend torn paper than cut paper. All right, so there's a couple of those. Let's go over this last one here. Let's go in with the, I'm just going to go in with my finger and do some orange in certain spots here. Let's see how you can just blend that in. Oh, I could pick up some more yellow and orange. So I'm not, I'm just kind of blending in multiple colors right now. Pick up a little more teal. And then if you get too much, you can just wipe it away with the baby wipe because the whole thing is coated with matte medium. All right, so there's just some backgrounds that you'll see. They're going to look really cool. They're going to look cool. Trust me. If y'all haven't been around for the end process, you're going to see the magic. Okay. All right. That one. This one. And this one. All right. Let me clean my hands off real quick, and then we'll hit it with the heat gun. Now you could maybe, let me hit it with the heat gun and we'll get out some stamps. We'll go ahead and get, because I want to show you as many of the processes that you can use as possible. Oh, thanks, Lisa. That's a nice thing to say. And you really, if you're going to use stamps on top of your acrylic paint, you really want this dry. Otherwise, you're going to be, because it's kind of thick in areas. You know, you don't want your ink or your stamps, not that you can't wash your stamps, and depending on if you're using a foam stamp, an acrylic stamp, a rubber stamp, depending on what kind of stamp. But, you know, I try not to, on my acrylic or rubber stamps, get them too coated with acrylic paint where you got to get out a toothbrush and clean them out. I might just, I don't know, I might just do some foam stamps, might be the quickest here. Depending on, I'll just look and see in my box what I want to pull out. But I can see, if you turn it on an angle, you can see where it's shiny, where it's still wet. So I'm really just trying to get the clumps. There's a couple clumps there of paint. So now let me get me a bucket of stamps. Let's see, let's put the stencils away. Okay, let's see. I got two, well actually, I'll show you how I keep my stamps. Well, let me explain. I have different ways to keep my stamps. Most of my wood mounted, I put in the microwave and melted the glue and peeled them off the wood blocks. I'd say 90% of my stamps are now in page protector sleeves, filed vertically so I can flip through them on just pieces of cardstock. They're just in a file flip box. I demounted them, in other words. I took them off the wood blocks because I don't have room for all those wood blocks. My foam stamps are in a big, this is a laundry basket. These are all my foam, mostly alphabet stamps. All the alphabets are mixed together. I mean, I've got other things in there too, but all the alphabets, like this alphabet and this alphabet, all the alphabets are just mixed in here. These are some of the foam, heat foam things. I don't know, maybe I'll show that again. I don't even know if you can get this stuff anymore. This was a bag of leftover, like offcuts from that melty foam. I don't even know who makes it. This was, I don't even know how many years ago. But I'll show you how this works. But this is all my foam stamps. Any foam. Even the ones that are mounted on the acrylic. Okay, maybe that's a good one to use here, like a word or something. Let me maybe pick a couple of these out. And also, let me take a bit of this out just to show you how that works. And, you know, just a couple of words or something would be good. Here's a little design. Maybe that'll be enough. I just want to give the example. All right, so this is how I keep all my foam. They're all in this big laundry basket. Then I have just tinier stamps. The tinier stamps that I like to use for, say, Project Life or something like that. And most of my hand carved ones, I keep in two of these boxes. So for instance, in here, and I even have a little stencil in here. So these are ones that are tinier designs, like this. Maybe I'll use a couple of these too. We'll pull those out. But I've got all my little things in here. Little sets, my hand carved ones. That's another good one that I can use. But tiny things. So that's what most all of this is tiny little stamps. And the same thing for this bucket. It's even got tinier. I mean, like tiny things made. Well, I shouldn't say that because there's my giant gargoyle hand carved. So this is one of my hand carved stamps. That's a gargoyle there. So I've got a few large stamps that I've carved. But mostly these are tiny little, like those little tiny Prima ones. These are good for Project Life. So I keep them in this little tiny little buckets and, you know, little things like this in here. Some tiny alphabets, more alphabets. Here's some of those Heidi Swap made for Project Life. Very tiny. You see how little they are? I mean, they're smaller than a fingernail, some of them. But these are good for like Project Life stamping, and you want to use archival or stays on for these kind of things. I like archival, the brand archival for this kind of stuff. So there's all kinds of little ones in here. All right. So that's how I keep my stamps. I keep the tiny ones in those buckets. I keep my other regular stamps. I can't even get at them right now. But I have a whole box. They're in page protectors, and I can flip through them that I've demounted off of the wood. Now, I still have a few up on my shelf up here. I got a couple of printer trays above my ink center where I have maybe, I don't know, maybe 50 wood mounted stamps that I did not demount, and I kept them just mostly for the decoration. Okay. All right. So back to let me show this real quick. So how this works, and we'll use these stamps right here. How this works is, and I got to find something to mash into. I need something metal. Let me get I have a box. I have one of these boxes that's just metal stuff. Or buttons or something. It just has to be something hard. Let's see. Oh, I know what here. This is cool. I was doing a project with some sunflower seed shells. So we'll use that for an example. It should work. All right, so I'm just going to pull out. Y'all with me? Fern? Yes, I like the archival ink, which since I'm talking about it, I better show what it looks like. Let me come over here where I put here we go. It comes in a couple sizes, and it comes in lots of colors, but I only have black. So I have the large black, and you can't even see it because it's all so well used. I just re-ink it. Where's my re-ink? I re-ink it with the re-inker. So the pad itself is really old because I've used it so much, and it just works fine re-inking. And for those of y'all that see me use a dauber, it's so funny because you're supposed to dip this in your dauber and use it like on your finger. But what I do is I just put a drop of ink on my dauber, and then I can ink edges and stuff. But today we're using paint, so I'm not even going to really use any of this because I'm going to use paint. But so there's the archival ink system, if you will, where they have the different ink pads. Another good one here is Memento. I like the archival. Okay, so back to this. So I'm going to take out a handful of these sunflower seed shells. And I'm just going to place them there. The nice thing about this foam, and I think some of y'all have used the fun foam. I think my fun foam is in the closet and I can't get at it right now. But those fun foam sheets, I think will work sorta, kinda, maybe with the same technique. So you can see here I had already pushed something in there before, but if I don't want that anymore, or you want to just, reuse it, you just reheat it with your heat gun, and those go away. Now you might still see like a design there, but it'll go away. The impression will go away. So I'm just going to heat this up. Then while it's hot, I'm going to smash it into that pile of sunflower seed shells. Okay, and I'm just going to hold it in there till it like cools a little. I'm just pressing it in. Okay. Yeah, the Stays On does have a smell. It smells like almonds, like someone said. All right, so there we go. Now I'm going to take those off. So now I have the shells impressed. Okay. All right. Now let me get the ink back out to show you this. And I got to find a paper. Oh, I'll just use the back here. All right. So then I'll take my ink and ink that up. And there you go. Let me do a little bit more so you can see more. And you can do whole patterns. But there's the sunflower seeds. Look. See the shells? How neat that looks? And that's just some sunflower seed shells. You could do a whole background. I'm not trying to be neat. I'm just trying to cover the back so you can see. You could do a whole page of sunflower seed shells. Okay? So somebody said that you can do that with fun foam. The kids' fun foam, it's it's in every color. And it's, you can get some is thicker than others too. There's two thicknesses. I think there's a 16th inch and an 8th inch or something. And I don't even know where you get this stuff anymore. I bought a bag of it at a stamp convention. This was like offcuts. Just this is the shapes that they were in. They weren't even cut neatly. They were just like leftovers. And I bought a bag of leftovers for a couple of dollars, I think. So anyway, there's an example. Let me maybe do one more. Here, let's go ahead and put these away. Let me find something else to do. Hang on, let me find something else to mash into. Okay, here's bits of shell. No, those may not show up because they're tiny. I do have other shells that are bigger, but let's just see. These are little tiny, tiny shells, so I'm not sure. We'll give it a whirl. All right, so now you can keep, in other words, you don't have to get rid of this. You can just move over to another section if you want to keep that, or you don't have to. But here you do the same thing. All right. Let me try to get out some of the bigger shells with the smaller shells so that you can see, because I'm not sure, these just might come across as just dots or something because they're so tiny, but we'll see. All right, so there's a little wad of shells right there. All right, so now I'm going to heat the other side up. And then I'm just going to mash it in. You got to hold it. Got to hold there till it cools off. It only takes like 10 seconds. And the other side's all inky, of course. All right, so let's see what happens. All right, so now it might be kind of hard to see what's going to come across. Let me put those shells away. Let me get the back of one of these sheets here. Go back to the ink. All right, here we go. And I'll just do a page full. You can see I'm not a stamper and I'm not even being neat. I'm just going to do a whole page of shells. There we go. And you could then do a color wash on this. Like, let's just do something like that. Now, this is very, I should have wiped off the other side because, I make a mess here. But anyway, so there you go. You can see that. Let me dry this real quick. Okay, now let me get a brush here and I'm going to water down, real watery, water down this acrylic green, real watery. And then we're going to put a wash over the top. And we'll do the brown too, or the orange rather. Water it down, just make a wash. So you can kind of see. I don't know if there's any yellow left. It's kind of turned green. But so this is an idea you would want to add into your idea notebook. Okay. So this is the kind of thing we want that you would keep in your idea notebook. As you come across things like this, ideas like this, or any idea, and you don't even have to necessarily have a sample in there, but it's a good thing. If you could just even cut a hunk of this out and put it in your idea notebook, that's the kind of things we're going to be doing with the idea 3-ring binder. Okay. I think I'm going to call it like ink spots or something like that, or ink blots or ink dots, one of those. The whole system, because it's just going to be a collection of your ideas. All right, so there you go. Let's just kind of see how that works. And it's called Clear Snap Foam. And Ranger has some out now. Is it this blue stuff? Is that what you're talking about, Eileen? I remember Clear Snap, the name, but I don't remember if that's who made this. Okay. Yes, Jeannie, you'll have to go back and watch the recording because you slept in. It's on here. It's on this part here. I'll reference it in the title. You know, something. It's just a brief little talk about it. I'm not explaining it yet. That'll be toward the end of January. All right, so let's go back to this now. Let's go back to our collage sheets. Let me move the ink, the shells, and the sunflower seed things out of the way here. And what I want to do now is I want to get out some black paint. Let me get another little palette here. All right, another palette. It's dry, so sorry for all the squeaky chair, guys. Hubs is promising me a new one. Okay, this is almost out. That's why I bought Mama Jamba Black. All right, so that may be enough. All right, let me get another sponge. Where are they? Where did I put my sponges? Here we go. I moved a little bit of things around. All right, so another dry sponge. I'm just going to pick up some of the black. Now, again, there's no composition to this. It's just putting designs on here. But let's go ahead and do this word explore. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of randomly, and you almost have to put another coat of paint each time because you're going over a, you know, acrylic paint as it is. So you want it to be, you don't have to. Let me show you that. You can just kind of get a couple more impressions off of it. But if you want to really be able to see the word, you kind of do need to pat it down. All right, so this one I'm just going to put a few, just so you can kind of see the word explore all over it. You can put them right side up, upside down. You put some upside down ones. You can go over the other words. I mean, you can go on top of them. If you just want, basically, you're just wanting letters to show. All right, so maybe there's that one. Now let me go ahead. I'm going to drop this in the water because I don't want it to crust up. All right, so let me take, this is one of my hand-carved rubber ones with a little wheel. All right, so same thing. Let's go over to this one. And I'll just put a bunch of wheels on this one. And go off the edge. Go off the edge on some of it because the edges are going to show in the final cards. Okay? Let me see if I got any questions or anything. No, that's what you did. Oh, hi, Sandy. Oh, thanks, Sandy. That's sweet. Sandy's, you know, she's no slacker in her work either. I don't know. She just doesn't talk about it as much as me, but she does some good stuff. She posts every now and then, but you have to almost beg her to have to post something. All right, so I'm just going to put some random, like, Let me see where else an edge. Maybe that up there, an edge, a little there. All right, maybe one more. All right, so just so you can kind of see. All right. There's some of that. But the black, because we're going to outline all the cards with black paint at the end. Let me just go ahead and kind of just sort of kind of clean that. We're going to outline them all with black. So this gives it a little bit more contrast. All right, let's go ahead and use this one. All right. Let's get out some more black paint here in a minute. And I just want to maybe get 2 images off of each one. And I do want some edges. So maybe this is a good one to go off the edges with. And it doesn't have to be black. It can be, you know, whatever. It's just black gives it a nice contrast, especially since we're going to outline it. I mean, edge the cards with black. All right. Now, the other thing I'm going to have to try to remember, there's a way, and I know there's a site, maybe one of y'all will remember, there's a site that shows how to cut cardstock into multiple different sizes and get the most out of it. And there's a way to get, I think 12. I think I can get 12 ATCs out of one piece of cardstock, but I'm probably not going to remember. There's a way that you cut this off and then this off. I'll try to remember, and it might just come to me when I go to cut it. But there's a site, and I guess it's still around, that shows there are tons of different ways to cut things. All right, so there we go. You can just kind of see. You're basically just making your own mixed media collage paper. All right, and let me stick that in the water over here, and I'll clean that when I'm done with the stream. Speaking of, what time is it? Okay, we're at 2 hours and 10 minutes. All right, let me throw that baby wipe away. And let me come over here. Now I'm going to keep that sponge right here because we're going to use it here shortly. So I want to keep that ready to go. So I'm going to dry this real quick. I didn't get a lot of stuff on the edge of this one. I think I'm going to take my little wheel and I'm going to go ahead and do some around the edges because I do want these cards. I'm going to give them away today. I want them to be feel like I've completed them in a little bit anyway. So I'm just going to go along the edges here. All right, that's good. I think it's Mirkwood. What is it called? Mirkwood or something like that. And I don't even know if the site's still there, to be honest with you. But they have all kinds of ways to cut an 8.5 by, I mean, just tons of ways to cut lots of things, not just cardstock. All right, so let me dry these. So these are fun to do to practice your stamping, your stenciling, your collaging, your paint scraping. You know, these are just great practice for all the techniques that you might just want to play with. They're still there. Thanks, Eileen. I think it's Mirkwood, right? I think that's the name of it. Thank you for telling me that it's still there. I haven't been over there in years. Okay, and if y'all just come in too, don't forget I did show my new Zentangle book, which I put behind me and I don't really want to touch now, but I did talk about that at the beginning of the show if y'all are just coming in. All right, now I'm going to move the heat gun, get down my, this is, I have, these are my favorite kind of cutters. I mean, I have the little scrapbook cutters as well, but I go for the Mama Jamba here. All right. Now, I'm going to try to remember because I'm now in my thinking mode for the last couple years of Project Life size which cards, which are 3x4. Project Life cards are 4x6 and 3x4. Here's a 3x4, just so you can compare. And let me get a 2.5. Here's an ATC size. Let me try to find a square one here. Well, I just grabbed it. This is a 2.5 by 3.5. So you can see the difference in sizes between a 3x4 Project Life size and a 2.5 by 3.5 standard artist trading card, baseball card, playing card size. Now, mind you, the corners are rounded on this, so it looks a tiny bit smaller than, let me see if I can get a square. Let's see here. That one's rounded. Let's see. Trying to find, here's a square. Okay, just so you can kind of see it. So there's a square. So there's a difference in size. What we're going to do here is make these artist trading card size. But you can cut these down to any size you want. If you want to use them in Project Life for backgrounds, for your photographs, you can cut them 3x4, 4x6. I showed at the beginning of the show our stacks of leftovers from previous years. Okay, so, but I'm going to cut all these down to artist trading card size. All right. So if I'm going to try to remember how this works. I believe I cut the top off at 3.5. Okay. It doesn't really matter. I'm trying to show you that there's a way to cut these down with no waste. But depending on the size, 3x4, you can get 12, you can get a lot of things out of it. All right. And then I believe it's then 2.5. Let's see if and I actually like this side better, 2.5. Okay. So that's all that's left over off of that. All right. Now, I'm not remembering exactly, but the way you turn these is how many you can get out of it. So, I'm not really trying to remember that right now, but there is a way to get a lot of cards. I'm going to go with 2.5. There's a way to get a lot of cards out of one sheet is all I'm saying. But you just want to cut, right now I'm cutting them down to 3.5 by 2.5, which is a standard artist card. Okay, let's see how much is that. That's 6, so I get 2.5. Because there's no real composition or pattern to these, it doesn't matter which direction you cut them either. But I'm just cutting them all down to 3.5 by 2.5. Okay, let's see, is that 3.5? Just a sliver off of there, and then I can get more out of this. So we'll see how many we'll get out of this. 2.5 and 2.5. All right, so all I have left is a couple little slivers off of here. But there is a way to cut them down, and I think to get 12. I think you get 12 out of it. Let's see how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See, I only got 10. I think there's a way to get 12 out of it. But that's not important for the demo today. Okay. So now what I want to do, I'm going to cut the other ones up as well, but I'm going to stop real quick just to do these edges, just to show you. Let me get my black paint back out. This is almost out. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, I got enough. All right, so now all I'm going to do is just take a little of the sponge, and I'm going to just go around it, and I'm going to just swipe all the edges with a black edge. Now, you can also round the corners of these if you want rounded corners. But I just want to show you how cool our end product is. Okay, so I'm just going to do that with each one, and I'll just hold each one up. You can do it thinner or thicker. I'm not taking a lot of time with it, but so you can kind of see. The end result of all those techniques that we did. And just by edging them, and it doesn't have to be black, it could be any color, you know, whatever, if you want to coordinate with it or whatever. But it just kind of makes it like a little frame. Okay, do you make? Yes, I did make the paper, and it's all recorded. They're just collage, paint, stencils, and stamping. And I'm getting ready to give them away. I'm going to give away 3 sets. I'm going to give away, I'll keep 1 out of each, and then I'll give the rest away in a set to, you know, I'll have 3 sets, is what I'm saying. I'll have 3 sets here in a minute to give away. Okay, so I'm just edging each one with a, you know, black paint. And if you really want to make them neat and nice, you could paint the backgrounds. These are going to have the leftover stamps that we did with the shells and the sunflower seed shells. So I'm just showing each one as we go. So again, thanks everybody for being here all year. I still have a few more Christmas cards to Canada, Jean, to get out. So if you're in Canada, you're gonna get your Christmas cards late. A few of y'all might get your Christmas cards late, just saying. Because I haven't had a chance to get my Cameo back out and finish, even though I've shown y'all the cards that I'm sending out. I made them here. And a lot of y'all either got, some of y'all, well, a lot of y'all probably got some of the art cards, but I'm also making those Cameo reindeers. So y'all already know what kind of Christmas cards you're getting. A couple of y'all got my family cards. I don't know. They're just random. So, but anyway, I do want to thank everybody that's been here all year so often. All right, so there's that set. And like I said, depending on how you cut them, you can get 10 to 12 out of an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. All right, so these are artist trading card size, but if you want to make your sheets of paper and cut them out for 4 by 6 for postcard size, or if you want to cut them out Project Life, 3 by 4 or 4 by 6. So we're going to do the same thing. So here's one set. So I'm just going to kind of set those up here. And we'll cut another one. Well, I'll go ahead and cut the other 2 sets out. And like I said, there is a way, if you go on, I think, Merkwood, you'll see how to cut the most out of one sheet of paper. All right, let me move those out of the way. All right, so I'm going to try it this way now. I'm going to try to cut a 2.5-inch edge off of here. And then turn this way and cut 2.5. Let's see, wait, does that make it 6? So, yeah, so I can get 2 out of this way. So we'll go 2.5, I think. Can I get, no, see, I'd messed that up as far as trying to get the most out of it. Okay, so let me just turn this one down to 3.5. See what I'm saying? You don't want this to happen. No, it doesn't matter, really, guys. It's no big deal. It's just if you want to get the most out of your 2.5 by 3.5, there's a way to do it. So. All right, so there's 4. So this is 6. So if I do 2.5 this way, I probably messed these up. That's all right. And 2.5 this way. We'll see how much I get. 3.5. I like to at least get 9 out of it. The last one I got 10. And I think I might have just got lucky. All right. And you just pick what the section that you think you like the best, because you'll have little bits left over. You shouldn't have that much left over. I think I only got 9 out of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, I only got 8 out of that one. I got 10 out of the last one. So it does matter. It does matter how you turn the paper. All right, so let's cut 3.5. And then I think I went this way with 3.5. And then 2.5. Okay. And I think that comes out to right at 2.5 with just a sliver. So anyway, yeah, go on Mirkwood and find exactly how to get the most out of your cuts. I think I did this one right, but I can't even tell you how I did it now. Let's see how many I got on this stack. There it is. Yeah, Mirkwood Signs. Or no, Mirkwood Designs. Thank you. It's all in one thing. Thank you, Eileen. Mirkwood Designs. Okay, so let's see how many I got this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I got 10 out of that one. So that second one that I only got 8 out of, that was the fail. But it's not really a fail. It's not like a mistake. It's just you don't get as much out of it. All right, so there we go. All right, so now let me just kind of stack this set up. There's one set, and I just showed that. So let me quickly, I'm just going to quickly edge these, and then I'll show them to you one by one. So let me just keep them separate here because I'm going to give them away. So let me edge them all, and then I'll hold them up one by one. So they're just fun to practice the techniques, fun to practice your blending, your stamping, your collaging, your blending, the color combinations. Remember, we only use 3 colors. We use the teal, the orange, and the yellow, well, and black. But, we did add a little bit of orange, like a sienna orange in there, but so just with a couple of colors of paint, and you don't even have to edge them. It just makes them look like little mini, like stained glass windows or something. I'll hold them all up here in just a minute. All right, so let me show you this set. I kind of went a little crazy there. All right. All right. You can only get 10 from a sheet. Okay, thanks, Eileen. So you can get 10. So the one that I got 8 out of. All right, so here's what we got. Let me hold them up to you. See the little bit of dragonfly wings? And you can't tell me that anybody cannot do these. If you watch the show today, anybody can do this. All right, so there's that set. Let me go around this last set. Then we'll do a giveaway. And thanks everybody for being here. Going on 2.5 hours. I have been uploading my shows to YouTube, and it's at Dee Dee Willingham. Same Coffee and Art in the Morning here. Dee Dee Willingham is it Inkwell or Inkywell? I can't remember on my YouTube. But if you go to Dee Dee Willingham, D-E-D-E Willingham, then you'll find me on YouTube. So I started uploading all these. So, and a lot of people that can't watch the recordings on their iPads or whatever, they just said it's easier to see them on YouTube than use Stream. So, and then my blog is Inkiwell, INKIWELL, at blogspot.com. And I'm going on, gosh, what did I say? Is it going on 10 years on that blog? I can't remember. I think I'm going on 10 years on that blog. And I'm not really I don't post a lot of words. It's mostly just pictures, my current, some of my current commissions and things like that. And if you do want to hire me to do a pet portrait or a people portrait, just let me know. Not before Christmas, please. That ain't gonna happen. All right, so here's this set. You can do this, Jeannie. Good grief. Okay. Oh, thanks, Deb. Yeah, I try to catch your YouTubes too, Deb. And anybody else that's here right now, feel free to post. Links are always open here. We don't really have too much, well, really have no problem with trolls or spammers. So, I leave links open so anybody can post their blog, their YouTube, their Ustream, whatever. I just don't. And if you have a new Etsy or something, that's fine too. Darcy's got a new challenge on her blog, art dash and dash soul dash, I think, or dot blogspot.uk, I believe is Darcy UK's. She's got some kind of a challenge going on for the new year. And anybody else here that has new things going on, hey Moomy, feel free to post your link so everybody can keep up with everybody else. All right, so we got 3 little sets here. I'll keep 1 out of each set, and so somebody will get 9, 9, and 7, because that one didn't turn out to get 9 out of it. So we're going to do, if y'all know how the giveaways work, I will write down a number. Let me get a big Sharpie here. I'll write down a number between 1 and, we've got quite a few. I'll do a number between 1 and 40. Okay, so I'm going to go slow. Don't feel like you got to rush or anything. Got time. I'm going to write down a number between 1 and 40 in here. And then when I type in the word go, in caps, then you will put in a number between 1 and 40. The person closest, without going over, will win a set. And I'll do this 3 times. Okay? Yeah, it's Darcy's is art dash and dash soul, SOLE, .blogspot.co.uk. And she's got a new calendar challenge coming up for the new year. And Darcy's got amazing, she got stamps done with paper artsy and all kinds of cool stuff over there. So y'all check out Darcy UK. All right? So I'm going to write down a number between 1 and 40, and then I'll type in the word go, and then you can put in a number. One number only, please. Okay? I'm going to do this 3 times. So most of y'all have been here, know how this works. Closest without going over. I'm kind of watching. Everybody just go ahead and put in a number. If you want, you may not want any of these. You don't have to go for it, And if you're new, I'll just get your address. So if you're here new, you have to be signed in. You just can't be a random Ustreamer. But if you're signed in, you can put, your name will show up. Or you can post in the chat, rather. Okay. I'll give it another 30 seconds or whatever, because I know there's a lag. I know it's tough, guys, doing a giveaway with a lag. It really is. All right. Is that it? Anybody else? Bueller. Bueller. All right. I don't see. All right, so I'm going to put in stop. All right, it looks like it's Sandy with a P. P Sandy at 27. P Sandy. Sandy with the P. Okay. Are y'all ready for another one? Okay, 1 to 40. Wait till I type in the go. I'm trying to kind of drag it out so that the lag catches up with us. So just look for the go. So I'm just going to wait a second till everybody catches up to that point. All right. Closest to the number without going over. Just give everybody a minute. I'll take a sip of cold coffee. And thanks again, everybody, for being here all these years. Hopefully more to come. Hopefully more streamers to come. More of y'all to get cameras and get to streaming. Do I need to get out the Whip app? I'll do that in a minute. Okay, let me put in stop. Okay, it looks like it's Crafty Jeanette. CJ has 18. So that will be CJ. Crafty Jen. Actually, it smelled like Jeanette. So Crafty Jeanette. Okay. You get a set. All right, one more, guys. Okay, hang on. I'm going to give it a second because for the lag. Clean my nails. Oh, thanks, Jeanette. All right, here we go. Let me type in go. Last one. Closest without going over. One number only. I think I've scared off people from playing. There's a lag. I know there's a lag. Don't email me. Oh. I'm just waiting a minute. Anyone else? Bueller. I'm not seeing any more numbers, so I'm going to put in stop. And the number was 10. And it looks like the first person to put in 8 was Moomy. Lisa had it, but Moomy beat her out. So that's going to be Moomy had 8. Moonrose, I call her Moomy. So Moomy. Okay. There we go. All right. All right. So 10, 20, and 30. So Moomy won a set, Crafty Jeanette, and Sandy with a P. So yeah. So anything else? Anything going on? Remember to watch, if you're just coming in, watch the recording so you can see us talking about next year's idea notebook. I think it's going to be called Ink Blot or Ink Spot. I don't know. Ink Spots or Ink Blots, one or the other. It's going to be just collecting how to collect your ideas and ideas that we generate and gather here as well. So, all right. So make sure and watch it. All right, guys. Well, thanks again. I don't think I'll stream again before until after Christmas. Maybe Christmas Day. I don't know. Barb, I think, is going to stream Christmas Eve. I think she said she's streaming Christmas Eve with her guest. um, so if no one's streaming Thursday, which is Christmas Day, we do our Christmas doings on Christmas Eve with the family. But if we're just hanging out, nobody's got anything to do, need some cheering up on Christmas Day, Thursday, then we'll try to maybe do a stream on Christmas Day. We'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. Well, Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah, holidays, all of the above. Real quick before we go, since Sherry's not here, Sherry just got a new house. I don't know if y'all know this. Where's my stack here? I have a cutout for Sherry. Let me see. I'm going through my stack real quick. I think it's in this stack. I have to cut out some more stuff. So look what I'm going to send Sherry. Shh, don't tell her. Oh. I might have to cut another one if I tear it. Good grief. Hang on. I cut Sherry out a couple. This one has the lit candles, some menorahs. I'm glad we talked about happy holidays because this one, let's see, I might have to, there we go. So I got her 2 menorahs. So happy Hanukkah, Sherry. There's a big one and a little one. So little gold paint. I might put some gold paint on this one too, like they're lit. So those are going to Sherry for her Christmas card, her Hanukkah card. Okay, so there we go, guys. Oops, let's not take those with me. All right. And Laurel's talking about stream on New Year's. Is anybody doing a New Year's streamathon? Is anybody doing a streamathon this year? I know I haven't seen Queen Lily all year. This week, maybe more. Well, make sure and tweet us and let us know if y'all know if they're going to do a streamathon or on New Year's Eve again this year. Okay? All right, guys. Bye.